Let me begin with a question. If I asked you to name the most powerful animal in Africa, many of you would probably say the lion. After all, we call it the king of the jungle. Its image appears on national emblem, sports team, company logos, and ancient monuments. For thousands of years, humans have associated lion with courage, power, and leadership. But here's something interesting. The lion became a king not because it is the strongest animal. In fact, an elephant is stronger, a rhinoceros is stronger, even a buffalo can be more dangerous in a direct confrontation. So why has the lion earned such a legendary status? The answer lies in something much more fascinating than strength. It lies in society. You see, among all the big cats on earth, lions are unique. Tiger lives alone. Only the mating period tiger and leopard can be seen with a couple, but in general they are alone. Lion choose a different strategy. They build family, and that decision changed everything. Lion pride is one of the nature's most sophisticated social system. A typical pride consists of related females, their cubs, and a coalition of males. Some prides have 10 members, whereas some can exceed more than 30. The females form the foundation of a pride. Mother, daughter, sister, granddaughter may remain together for their entire lives. Now, here's the first myth I'd like to destroy. Many people think male lion is the boss and does all the hunting, but it's not true. The lioness are the primary hunter of a pride, and they are astonishingly efficient team players. Imagine trying to catch a zebra running at a 65 km/h speed. A single lion would definitely struggle and definitely fail. But lionesses don't hunt as individual. They hunt as a coordinated unit. One may circle left, another move right, third wait ahead as a camouflage as a surprise element. No instruction, no communication that we can hear or understand. Yet somehow they work together with remarkable precision, and they need it. Because hunting is much harder than most people imagine. A lion hunting success rate is often below 30%. The most famous predator on earth fail most of the time, even as a group. Nature never gives easy victories, but perhaps the most remarkable thing about lions isn't how they hunt, it's how they raise their young, their cubs. In many mammal species, mother raise offspring alone. In many animal species, mother and father raise the offspring together. And in elephant and say jackal families or wild dog families, the group or herd help them to raise offspring. But lions, perhaps the only species in earth, do something very different. Lioness in a pride, if there are 3-4 lionesses, often synchronize their birth. All the cubs born within a span of a week, and they get raised together. And females, mothers, nurse not only their own cubs, but also their each other cubs. It's operate like a daycare system in the middle of Africa or Indian forest. A cub will receive milk, protection and care from multiple females. And these dramatically increase its chance to survival, even though the survival is not guaranteed. In some region, more than half of all lion cubs never reach adulthood, even more than a year. The African savanna is a difficult place to grow up. because a lion cub when at birth is only 1.5 kg, and it's very vulnerable to many other predator species like hyenas, particularly hyenas, as their mortal enemies. Now let's talk about the male lions, because this is where a lion story becomes almost Shakespearean. When we see a magnificent male lion with dark mane, we assume he has always been powerful. The reality is very different. Most young males are eventually expelled from their birthright and they become nomads. Sometimes 2 or 3 brothers together get expelled from their pride and they travel together for years, hungry, homeless, and constantly avoiding stronger male lions. Only a small percentage ever achieve dominance, and when they finally do, their reign is often surprisingly short, perhaps even only 2 years or maybe 3. The young challengers arrive, battle follows, and the king is overthrown. The lion life teaches a profound lesson. Power is temporary, and even kings grow old, and they can be replaced. And perhaps that's why lions spend so much time resting. An adult lion may sleep over 20 hours a day, and we may think they are lazy, but they are not. They are strategic. Their hunt requires enormous energy. Unlike Indian jungle, when a tiger runs for its prey or a leopard runs for a prey only limited to 20, 30 or 50 meters and then they stop the chase. But in a vast grassland in Gir or Africa savanna, they have to run behind a prey for 100, 200 meters at times. So energy conservation is a survival strategy. But perhaps the most surprising fact about lion is their greatest weapon isn't their claws or not even their teeth. Their greatest weapon is cooperation. When scientists studies, the naturalogist studies successful predator, they often focus on speed, strength, and intelligence. And a lion pride reminds us all of them. The power of teamwork. One lion is itself impressive, but a pride is always extraordinary. But together they defend territory, hunt prey, raise cub, and survive challenges that would overwhelm any individual lion. Perhaps that's the deeper reason humans have always admired lion. Not because they are the strongest, but because they represent something we understand instinctively. The idea that greatness is rarely achieved alone. Today, lions face challenges unlike any in their evolutionary history in the last 1,000 years or 2,000 years. Just a century ago, there are roughly 2 lakh lions across Africa. Today, their number came down to hardly 20 to 25,000. And their greatest threat is no longer another lion. It's inhabitat loss, shrinking prey population, and obviously conflict with humans. But in India, we have the opposite story altogether. Just 30 years ago, there is hardly 20-25 lions left in the wilderness, but currently the number goes, if I'm right, almost 800. The future of lion will depend on whether we can share landscape with one of the natural most remarkable creatures. Because when a lion roars across a savanna or a grassland, we are hearing more than a predator. We are hearing the voice of an ecosystem, a king. A species that has survived ice age, drought, wear, and centuries of change. A symbol not merely of power, but resilience, cooperation, and survival. And perhaps that is the only true story of a lion. This is a trivial story for today. See you in next episode.